Good evening, everyone. Leah Dixon here from Port Coquitlam, British Columbia. I am finally making it on for my Summer Celebration series video for today. This morning we couldn't be at home during my regular video times, so 11 hours later, popping on. Sorry, wasn't able to give you guys some advance notice. It was just kind of when is the house quiet, and being able to pop on right now and do this. So hopefully you can join me. Otherwise, you can watch the replay. And today I'm going to be working with the Stylish Sketches stamp set. So this is a stamp set that you can earn for free right now during Celebration. Every $60 purchase gets you a free Celebration item, and this is one of them. So I'm going to switch over to my desktop so you guys can really see that well and start creating. This is a really nice stamp set because you can use it kind of just as it is and not even color it, or you can do some watercoloring, which is what I'm going to be doing today. So I have Stampin' Up's Fluid 100 watercolor paper, and I actually took one of these sheets and cut it down into two smaller pieces. So let's see, it's 3 by 4 is what I've done, is cut that down to that size. And that's actually a little bit smaller than half. So you can get 2 of those plus an extra little bit. And so then to go with that, I've cut a little piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock at 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And I have a thick basic white cardstock base, and that's 11 by 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2. And so we're going to end up layering all of our bits together like this. But first of all, we're going to do some stamping. So I've got this piece of watercolor paper, and I'm going to grab the fox image from that Stylish Sketches stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it using Memento Black. I'm also just going to turn down this volume just slightly. There we go. All right. So here we go. So Memento Black on this little fox. Now, usually when you are stamping, you're not going to use Memento. You probably want to use StazOn because Memento is water-based and will kind of move, but we're going to stamp this, and it should sit long enough before we start any watercoloring that we won't have a problem. Now, this Stylish Sketches stamp set from the Celebration offering has no sentiments with it, which means you can pair it up with anything you want. Grab your favorite sentiment from your favorite stamp set and pop it onto your card with these little guys. I have actually grabbed, where is it? There it is. I've grabbed the Sending Many Thanks for All You Do from the Happiness Abounds stamp set. Partially because I have it out, because I've been prepping make and take packs for that stamp camp all day. Well, not all day, but for a good chunk of the day. Once we got home this afternoon, I had kid helpers available for a little while, so I was making samples to make sure they're right and then having kids cut paper for me. All right, so we've got that sentiment stamped there as well. So all of that was stamped in Memento Black. Now we are going to add some color to this. So what I have got is I've just grabbed my E-block, just an acrylic block, any size will do. I just grabbed my E because I can then do 3 colors on here without worry about mixing things together. I'm going to grab one of my water painters. You actually get 3 in a set, and what these are pens that have a water reservoir and then a paintbrush tip, and there's different paintbrush tips. And then I have got 3 re-inkers that we're going to use. I have Cajun Craze, Balmy Blue, and Mossy Meadow. So I'm going to start just by putting a singular drop of each of these colors onto my acrylic block. Now you could also use 3 different blocks if you only had small blocks. And you really don't need a lot of re-inker. In fact, if I wasn't doing this on a video where you guys don't want to sit and watch me watercolor all night long, I would actually stamp a whole bunch of these first before I get out my re-inkers, and then I would watercolor a whole bunch all at once. All right, now kind of the last tool we want to make sure we have while we're doing some watercoloring is to have a paper towel or a Kleenex handy. So just got that right there. We want to be able to wipe off any excess water. We want to be able to clean out our brush, that kind of thing. So I'm going to start by giving this a little squeeze, getting my paintbrush tip wet, and I'm going to quickly paint my fox. Now you're going to see he's turning a little bit gray. Some of that gray from the Memento Black is moving in, and that's okay for what we're doing because it's going to get covered up by our color. You could also do this and create a beautiful gray fox or gray wolf, I guess. Now I'm going to add some water just by squeezing and dipping into that Cajun Craze dot that I did up before. Got that watercolor going, and now with my fox still wet, because I just put a layer of water across him, I'm going to come in with the color I've just picked up and color him. And I've started at the top and I'm working my way down, kind of brushing along in kind of big movements till I get here to these little paws, and then I'm going to get a little bit softer and smaller motions. And you'll see as well, the intensity of my color is fading a bit as I go down. All right, now I'm going to come back in and add, oops, I forgot his one little ear. I'm also going to add in a little bit of color now where, he needs a little bit more darkness added in. All right. Now, when you are watercoloring, you do not, oh, hello. You do not want to just start watercoloring with another color right beside this wet Cajun Craze ink. So what I'm doing is I'm just cleaning out my brush a little bit, and I'm giving this some time to dry. Okay, so we're almost done there. So I'm just squeezing until the water runs clear out of my brush. That's taking the color right out. All right, now I'm also going to come in with my paper towel with a clean edge right along his belly and just press down. And that's going to remove some of the color there and make his belly a little bit lighter. It's also going to help us dry that a little bit faster. Now, the final touches to drying him, because I really don't want to work with any wet ink on here, is we can either let him sit for a long time. Well, not a long time, but longer than we want on this video. Let him sit and dry naturally. Or you can grab your heat tool. Now mine's the old one, and so I don't have the 2 settings, but you can use your lower setting and blow dry this and dry up our ink. So I'm going to just dry him a little bit. Here we go. All right, so he should be dry now. Just to give him extra time to dry, we're also going to work on a different area that's not going to be so close to our actual fox. And notice I also dried the back side. I kind of want to dry both sides of the paper so that we don't get a warp to our paper. All right, so next color is coming up. I'm going to grab another Kleenex and get that ready so I can drip some water. Now, with the water I've got dripping now, I'm going to come in and do just a quick little whoosh across the bottom. And then we're going to push some water onto here and lighten up our mossy meadow. And I'm going to come in. It's quite dark. That's okay. And so the more water you add, the lighter this gets in color. And I'm going to come on in and do that and give a little bit of ground underneath. All right. So that's nice. I like that. And maybe grab just a little bit more and come back and do our top here. And see how now that the paper's wet, it just kind of like whooshed in. And yeah, definitely you can watch other videos. Stampin' Up has some videos and stuff on watercolor techniques. I am by no means a watercolor expert. I just kind of play around and hope for the best. So we're going to clean that up again. Now with a little bit of actual just water on my brush. There we go. I am going to come in and just soften up these edges a bit. There we go. All right. Now we'll let that really run clean. Get all the green off the tip there. Okay. And now again, I'm going to dry this because I don't want this green blending with the blue when I do the blue background. So I'm going to grab my heat tool again and heat this up again. All right, so that's all heated up. Now, the best is to actually just let this sit, let it wait before we do anything else, but we're going to just keep moving on. So I'm going to get my brush wet again. Oh, come on. There we go, some water on my brush. And I'm going to, not getting too close to my fox, but I am going to do a quick wash. Just going to make sure I have enough water there on my tip. There we go. I'm going to do a quick wash around him just of water. So now when we do this wash around, it just helps the watercolor go onto the page a little bit better. Lets it actually flow through the paper. It's kind of like the one little watercolor thing I do know. Now that's still pretty dark. I'm going to add a bit more water to that because I do want this to be fairly light as we're applying it. All right, there. And then we're just going to come in around our fox and lightly apply this blue. So between the water that's already on the page and then the water that's in our watercolor that we're applying, this is going to create a nice soft background. All right. And just go all the way around now. Notice I'm not getting in nice and close. I am leaving like a little white border between the fox and this blue background because I don't want the orange to mix with the blue. Okay, I'm not as careful down around the grass because I actually don't mind if I get a little bit of green with the blue down there. But I just feel like the orange and the blue is not going to mix well. All right. I'll come in a little bit closer. And there we go. And we've we've got our cute little blue background added to our fox. Now I'm going to squeeze this clean again, get this blue out of here because I do want to go in again just with water this time and lighten up my fox a bit. So I don't want any blue while I do that. All right. So we do need to let the air get up into this water, into this brush. Sometimes I find if it's not flowing properly, if you just open it and then close it up again, that allows the air bubbles to do their thing so that it'll flow nicely again. There we go. All right. Still need a bit more cleaned out of this. The blue is still there, and I definitely don't want to add any blue to my fox. All right. Maybe get another paper towel, another Kleenex, and continue to squeeze this and run the blue through. So now I have tried actually just like running these under water, and they really don't, it doesn't clean it out as well as actually squeezing water through it. Okay. So, almost there. There we go. That's looking like it's fine. Oh, no. Thought I was finally running clear, but it's not. All right. Wow, that blue is a strong color. Okay. And now maybe. There we go. Now we're finally running clear. So I'm going to get a little bit of water onto our brush. There we go. And I'm going to come in and lighten this up. So I'm just painting with water essentially over top of some of this. And I'm going to come up around his eye and just lighten his face a bit. And so by just adding water, no color, we're just lightening that, and then I'll grab a tiny bit of color and go back over the top and add in some color along the top of his back, and like that again. There we go. So we've just added a little bit of color to him, and now we'll clean up our brush again so we're ready to go for our next paint project. Don't want to leave a dirty brush. Now, with that finished being painted, we need to make sure that it's nice and dry. And I'm going to do one, so I'm just pressing, not rubbing. There we go. That's dry enough now to adhere this to our card. Now, this ink that I have over here, I can use that to do some more painting because it's still wet, or I can just grab a piece of paper towel. And actually, I'm going to do this before I get ink on something. You just grab a Kleenex or a paper towel or whatever, and because this is your acrylic block, you can just wipe that up and you've got a clean palette and you're ready to go. Okay, so really easy, no mess way to do some watercoloring. So now with our watercolor paper, you can take your adhesive of your choice. I like using liquid glue. And we're going to go over the back of this with some glue, attach this to our piece of Mossy Meadow cardstock. Now to really press this and adhere it, I'm going to put it down. I'm not going to move it around. I'm just going to rub the back of it, holding it in place. Then if there is any wet paint still on there, it's just going to go on to the paper I have in the background, but we're not going to smudge anything. But look at that, nothing even came off, so it was all nice and dry. Okay, now do a little bit more glue here. Oops, too close to the edge. All right, there we go, a little bit more glue, and we're going to pop this right onto the center of our thick basic white cardstock. And again, flip it over to rub it. That way you're not rubbing your fingers across your watercolors, just in case your fingers are damp or something and you smudge your colors. Okay, and voila, we are almost done. We're just going to add a little embellishment to this. And I think we will add some, oh, are these, they're the rustic metallic adhesive dots. And so I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool and use that to pick up a couple here. Pop one down and grab one from there, and maybe one more small one. Oh, come on, right down over here. All right, and so just add a few little rustic dots to that, and we have a beautiful little watercolored thank you card. And so watercoloring with the water painters and some ink refills is so super easy. You know, just apply as much or as little color as you want, and yeah, have fun with it. And we have so many images that we can watercolor, but these sketch ones are really great for that. The little ducks and the greenery. And so just a really fun, quick, easy thing to watercolor. So I hope you guys liked that, and have fun with that stylish sketches stamp set that you can earn for free. And yeah, that's our video for this evening. Tomorrow morning I will be live, but a little bit later, 10 o'clock I believe, doing some more celebration stuff and kind of like a little online catalog launch, if you will, for our new mini. So I'll be making more than one card tomorrow morning and featuring some of the new host paper from our mini catalog. So I hope you guys can join me for that. Tomorrow's also the last day. Tomorrow's only the 9th. So Sunday will be the last day for my Summer Celebration series. So 2 more days in that, and that way I'll be able to get through all of the celebration items that I have to be able to show you guys all of those things. And then you have all summer to earn those. So, you know, do lots of crafting and get ready for Christmas as well. I think I've only shown you one Christmas thing so far, and it is the Christmas mini. So, yeah, have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Bye.